Hello YouTube, I'm Gigi Live and welcome to my channel. A lot of people have asked how I am doing with my health. I usually do videos about reselling and plant-based dieting, but also about my health issues I've had. And you can check those videos out. Please check them out. But this one is an update from my last video. I was in the hospital recently for atrial fibrillation. And I want to just talk a little bit about what happened with me. And it actually started with the middle of the night, me waking up and feeling as though I couldn't breathe, like I was being choked. And I, literally could not, breathe, or I just felt like someone was literally choking me. And my heart was racing, and so I was coughing, gasping for air, and I went to the bathroom, ended up laying on a bench I have in the bathroom, and I felt as though I was going to die because my hands and my legs and everything were getting numb, just poor circulation through my body, and I just felt horrible. And I remembered I had my Apple Watch, so I decided to check because one thing the Apple Watch has is an EKG monitor where you can actually check your heart rhythm. So this is what it looks like when you go to it. Actually, I take that back. When you go to it, this is where all your apps are, and then you click on the one that has the wavy line for the EKG. And it starts off here. And when you do it, you need to make sure that you try not to talk, but lay your hand this way, like this, and just put one finger on watch. And for 30 seconds, it will get I'm talking, so I'm not supposed to be really talking, I don't think. But it's still working, it's not having a problem. There we go. Normal sinus rhythm. That's what it says here. Normal sinus rhythm. So before, when I did this, and I'm just going to show you on my phone. And this is an app, and it goes to my iPhone, so I can always see, what happened and keep a record of it. But just going to show you on my Instagram when this happened. After I was in the hospital, I decided I was going to post it. So when it said this, oh, we can't see it. There you go. Atrial fibrillation. And then it says, you need to contact a doctor or get to, I don't remember if it said emergency help. But anyway, so of course, because I've worked for American Heart Association since the 90s, I thought, well, I'll just try to get this down on my own. I don't want to go to the hospital. I thought, well, I can probably, try to get it down naturally. Tried a little baking soda, tried drinking water, tried to do a thing called a vagal response where you just kind of bear down or cough. I tried a lot of things for a long time, and I kept thinking it's going to convert. Now, I've had arrhythmias, and that basically means you have an irregular heart rhythm for a long time. That was the first thing that they noticed in my health when I was in my teens. That was the first thing I started getting treated for, was a fast heart rate and a regular heart rhythm. My fast heart rate would be just like to the point where you see my chest just going like this and just moving. Like literally could see through my shirt. And so that was when I was a child. And that was the first, actual time when I really started going to the hospital, was as a child. So basically, I've always had the ability to convert myself, and I didn't want to go to the hospital if I could convert to a good rhythm. And I never knew it was atrial fibrillation. I just knew I had arrhythmia, and I just knew that if I just could just calm down, I could get my tachycardia, my high heart rate down, and get it to a good rhythm. And I just kept feeling that way. And finally, I think this started like at 3 in the morning, and probably about 3 o'clock, and like 12 hours later in the evening, I said to my husband, I've got to go to get some help. I got to go to the ER, urgent care. And he was like, it's probably indigestion, probably just, you're overreacting. And I said, I'm going to drive myself. I'm not going to wait. I can't wait anymore, because I kept looking at my EKG on my phone, and it kept saying atrial fibrillation. And I was feeling like I could breathe a little bit, but it was like shortness of breath, chest pain, feeling just really lightheaded. And I thought, I really shouldn't be driving myself to the emergency room, but I really needed to go. Now, my husband did not understand. He wasn't trying to be, irrational, but he just got off work, and he was just feeling like, I don't really want to go back out there, but I just said, I'm leaving, and I'm going. So when I got to the urgent care, it was next level urgent care, and I came in, I basically said I have chest congestion, and they said, well, do you think you have COVID-19? And I said, well, I was tested about 3 weeks ago, because I did have some symptoms, but I was tested negative, and I did a throat swab, because my nose has a mass in my nasal cavity, and I can't put anything into my nose for a nasal swab. So they did that 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks before. So I told them, I said, I don't need to get that. They said, yeah, you do, because you have congestion, you have cough. And I said, my biggest issue right now is my heart. It's like, it won't slow down. So when they got in there, they said, we're going to go ahead and give you an EKG. And my husband's phone, Sweet Home Alabama. Anyway, so this was my EKG. And as you read it, it says atrial fibrillation. And you can see how it has no consistency. Like this the wave pattern is not consistent. So they said at the urgent care, go to the ER immediately. Immediately go to the ER. So, of course, I had to call my husband and say I need to go to the ER. And, he was like, you can't drive yourself? And they were like, no, she cannot drive herself. So he came and got me. They were like, we can call an ambulance, or he can come and get you and take you to the ER. So he took me to the ER. I went to Methodist ER. And I decided to go to the satellite, not the main one, because I kept thinking, if I go to the satellite, I'll get seen quicker, and there'll be a less opportunity for me to get corona. One of the things I didn't want to do is go to a big hospital and expose myself to anyone who might have corona, or even the building that might have corona. So I was like thinking, I don't want to go. That's another reason why I didn't want to go to urgent care or to the hospital. I didn't want to get, exposed to corona. So I get to the emergency care satellite of Methodist Hospital, and they then confirm again that I have atrial fibrillation, and if I had not converted by now, I definitely need to go into the hospital and be admitted. So I had then to take an ambulance then they gave me an ambulance to take me to the hospital, the main hospital, where they had specialists that could treat that. So it was interesting to go, number one, even to a hospital like the emergency care center. And I wish I had gotten a video of that. If I had a video, you could see. Basically, it is in such, protection from corona and from the outside world. It's almost like going into, when you go into the ER, it's like a quarantine unit. And this is the ER. And it's very closed off. They have people who are completely covered. And, everything is completely different than what you would see in an emergency room. It looked like you're going into a spaceship or something. It was very, very protected. So I felt good about that, but I did feel still like I could get exposed because I'm at a hospital. I was getting in an ambulance. All these things were scary for me. So then they tell me, because they're going to have to do a test for my, to test out corona. I'm sorry, this is really difficult for me to talk about, and I'm trying to get everything out very clearly. But I just want to say it was a very frightening thing to be there by myself and know that there are people who go to the hospital and don't come back, and they may go to the hospital for non-related corona issues. And I had just tested negative 3 weeks before, and they said to me, you're going to have to be on the corona floor because we don't have a test for a swab. So, to do my mouth test, the saliva test. So, they said, we're going to have to put you in the corona floor. And that was, it was like, I just thought, I just want to go home. Like, don't put me on the corona floor. Like, I just kept feeling like I had a friend who lost her dad when he went in the hospital for an operation. I think it was a hernia repair. And she kissed him goodbye thinking it was going to be an outpatient situation. And he ended up getting really sick with pneumonia. And then he passed. And I've had other people who've told, I had an uncle, my husband's uncle, who went to the hospital, got corona and passed. And so, and I just lost, in June, my stepson. So I just did not feel comfortable going, but I knew that this was, something I had to do. So I just prayed and I told God, whatever your will is, let it be. And the sad part was I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to my husband because they took me right in the ambulance. I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to my daughters, my mom, my sister, or anyone. They put me in the ambulance and took me directly there. And once I got to the corona floor, it was like you're on your own pretty much. There's no one that's going to be there in your family or anything to visit you. So it was pretty frightening. So anyway, when I got there, they immediately started to work on me, trying to get me down with medication, get my heart rate converted with medication. And they said that once they're able to test me, then they can move me to, and I test negative, then they can move me to the cardiac floor. But as long as I didn't have a negative test, they would not be able to move me. So I said, so I'm going to have to spend the night here. And they said, we don't have the test available for you to get a swab in your throat as of now. And I said, okay. So I was very disappointed about that. In fact, I had to spend the night in the corona floor. But I did post a video. I was on medication, like I said. So I did post a video. The one thing that, this is what they do to exchange the air. I was just showing my room. It's a machine that basically makes sure that the air conditioning is not recirculated. And it's pretty loud. And then, this is me I had to wear a mask when you're in the hospital because I wasn't negative, they couldn't say that I was negative, so I had to wear a mask. It was hard sleeping with the mask. It was hard making sure that whenever, unless I was eating, I had to have the mask on. And, of course, the good news was after 3 days of being in the hospital, them trying to convert me, they finally converted me. And as you see, that's my nurse after I got converted. Oh, there she is. And she was awesome. That's how they look when they're helping you. And so they converted me with the medication. The medication did not work immediately. And after I got up, after they gave me the round of the medication, like I said, I was on medicine from the time I got there. But they finally wanted to give me a medicine that was similar to what it is to shock your heart into a good rhythm. So that medicine is a very strong medicine. And I was very nervous about that because what if it didn't work? And it didn't work right away. They were going to give me a second round. And so I got up to go to the restroom. And after I got back to the bed, the nurse told me, you just converted. Now, the whole time I'm there, I'm wearing a Holter monitor that is portable so they can continuously monitor my heart rate while they're outside of my room. And anytime I would have an issue, but probably every 2 hours, someone was in the room checking on me. But when they tried to convert me after 3 days, I did convert. And they said, because we still can't get you the test that you need, the infectious control doctor said, you can go home on a monitor. So this is my monitor. And I also have my Apple Watch. My monitor comes with a phone. And it just says right now monitoring. And if it has a problem, It says here it has good contact. If it has a problem with it, then it will go off, and then I will have to reposition myself. If I have any incident where my heart's feeling fast, then I can put the notes in. But it's really kind of cool to have this access, and it attaches here, and I don't have to have any wires, which is really cool. But I do have to change it out. Right now, this monitor is at 41%. So when I change it out, I quickly take this off. I think I'm just going to go ahead and do it right now so you can see me change it out. It's always being charged, the extra one, it's always being charged. So I can take that out, and I just pull this one out like this. And then I slip the new one back in. It's been charged overnight. And I try to do this every morning. And pretty soon it's going to say, I have to turn it on. How you turn it on is you press this button right here. It's a button in the middle. And then the light comes on. I always have a hard time because of my nails to do it. I have to ask my husband sometimes. But this monitor is right there. It is. It makes that beeping noise. It means it's on, and then it has the green light that comes on. It'll be red if it's not working. So it's going to end up telling me I need to make sure I change it. There it goes. It's telling me that it's checking my contacts. Now it's going to actually do an EKG right now. It's like trying to get the contact set up. And so it says, not in use. You're currently monitoring with another monitor. So what I would do is I then click on this monitor, and then it says monitoring. So it says it's a good position and everything. So I'm doing good now with that, changing it out. It's not a difficult thing to do. You just got to remember, you have to keep it with you. It has to be within 10 feet of you. So you can't just like go to the store and leave it here at the house. You have to keep it with you at all times. It's kind of funny because sometimes I'll be talking to someone on the phone, and I'll put my actual phone down, and I'm talking in this, thinking I'm talking on the phone. It's like, wait a minute, I'm not talking. I say hello, and they're like, not saying anything, and I realize I'm not talking on, this is my monitor. So that's happened a couple times. So basically, I always have to keep my phone and keep my monitor in my purse or with me when I'm going somewhere. Now let's talk about the medication they have to put you on. It gives me an alarm. Got poor skin contact. So I press OK, and it says action is required. So what I do is I just press down here when that happens and make sure that I'm pressing on these leads here. And after a few minutes, it usually, sometimes the stickiness might get, loose. But if I don't feel like I'm having a problem, then I'm not as concerned. It'll come back on in a minute. So I want to talk a little bit about my medications they put me on. They put me on Eliquis, and I have to take that twice a day. In fact, I'm getting my medicine out as we speak because I haven't taken it this morning. So that's my Eliquis. And then I have my Cardival, which is for my blood pressure. Then I'm not taking my trazodone because I'm not going to sleep, but that's another medicine that, because I have a hard time sleeping sometimes. Then I have my Wellbutrin I take, and that's just an anxiety medication, or actually it's more of just antidepressant, because it can be depressing, but I also have been on that for a long time for depression, for my lupus and stuff. Then I have, I can't even pronounce it, Ampimpomine, Benelesta, I can't pronounce it, AMPOLODIPINEBES, another word is BESYLATE. I can't pronounce it, but anyway, taking that one. Then I have a nerve pill that I take, gabapentin, and that is for my nerve pain. And then I also take, and I have a Xanax I can take if I'm feeling anxious, which I'm not feeling, so I'm not taking that. That's a PRN medication. And then the final one is AMIODARONE, which is adrenaline. So I take that. And then, of course, I also take an estrogen supplement because I need that. And then I also take a medicine for my like a medicine for my pain if I need that. And then I also, and I don't need that right now. And I also take multivitamins, and I'll take B12, and I'll take some vitamin D, and I think they put me on another one too. But those are the medicines that are supplements. So these are the medicines I take that are actually my prescriptions every day. And I also have an antiviral that I take too, which is not here. So those are the medicines I have to take in the morning, and then before I go to bed, I take another round. Because this is a permanent condition, it's a chronic condition, I will most likely have to be on these medicines for the rest of my life. But I am trying to change a lot of things about my behavior, and that's one of the things you have to do when you're living with atrial fibrillation. So my alarm is going off for my monitor now. Sometimes it just says that basically I might be having a situation, and then they will record that with my heart. So they give you a lot of information. I mean, like, honestly, if you don't know about atrial fibrillation, Methodist gives you plenty of information about it, but you can look it up online. Basically, it means that your heart is not in a good rhythm. It means that you may have supraventricular tachycardia, meaning that your heart rate is high and your heart is like fluttering and it's not pumping blood properly through your body. So that, of course, can cause you to have blood clots, cardiac arrest, and that can also cause you to have a stroke. So to prevent those things, there are things that they don't want you to do, like smoke, like drink a lot of caffeine, drink a lot of alcohol. And the worst thing that is not on here is they don't say you should be plant-based, but that I know is something that I've been doing already. And I know that's something that has helped me with not having high cholesterol, because that's one of the medicines I've never been on, is cholesterol medicine. But I did like the fact that they do tell you about staying hydrated and making sure that you are eating a lot of fruits and vegetables. They do say that, even though they are not saying to be on a plant-based diet, completely giving up meat or giving up, animal products. Part of the reason why I do it is because I know that it's healthier for me. It's not like I have this, I love animals, they're great, but it's not about my love for animals. It's about my love for myself and my health. And if I do something that's negative for myself, like maybe I'm not exercising enough, maybe my weight is higher than it should be, I think the one thing I can do is enjoy fruits and vegetables instead of eating meat or products that are processed. So like one of the things I'm doing right now is I'm enjoying watermelon. And being on, this is so good. I love watermelon. And being on watermelon gives me hydration, but on a watermelon diet, when you have that in your diet regularly, it also has a whole lot of other benefits, which is another one, is it can help you with regulating your blood pressure because it is so much water, and it can help you with digestion. And one of the other things I didn't mention about being on this medication, it does have you sometimes a little bit tired, sometimes a little bit lightheaded, and sometimes you do feel like you can't do the things you used to do. But if you're on a better diet, I believe it's going to help you with that as well. And another thing is it may also cause you to have a hard time digesting, and constipation is another issue. So being on watermelon or on a diet that hydrates you can also help you with that. So you don't have to take a stool softener every day, even though that's one thing I probably do as well. And I don't like to take sleeping medicine, so if I can push myself a little bit and rest, it usually is going to help me not have as much stress and anxiety and sleep better. So all these things I'm doing in my life trying to make me feel a little bit better about having atrial fibrillation as a permanent chronic condition are things that I'm trying to do to change myself. But I do feel like I never got a corona test when I went to the hospital, and the anxiety and stress about that is still very big. Of course, I'm still dealing with the anxiety of losing my bonus son and the anxiety of everything that's going on in the world. So with all that stress and anxiety that goes on, prayer has been very important for me. Many people have prayed for me during this time on Facebook and Instagram and my family, and I can't say enough how much I appreciate that. So I wanted to do this video, even though I'm getting long-winded again. I wanted to just say thank you so much for everyone who has been out there and been praying for me. And thank you so much for everyone who has called me and come by, even though, you know, it's the corona time, like my sister and my niece and my sons and my mother and, of course, my father. So I appreciate everyone who has been there for me. If you have someone who is going through a chronic illness, try to understand and try to, like, actually go in, figure out what their illness is. Don't be ignorant to it. Like, really try to understand it. And try your hardest to be compassionate to them, because it's not easy to have to be on a lot of medication and not be able to do all the things you want to do physically and emotionally. So anyway, another thing is they gave me some steroids when I was in there, and I feel like, you know, I've gained like 10 pounds. So I'm trying to get my weight down too. So when I'm able to do some exercising and walking, that'd be great. Anyway, I'm trying to change my lifestyle so I can live a happier life. And I encourage everyone else who is going through atrial fibrillation to do these things as well. And anyone who's going through lupus problems or thyroid problems or any of the issues I talked about, feel free to comment in the comment section below. And if you think this helped you in any way, share it with someone else and like my videos if you can, and please subscribe to my channel. I will have more videos about reselling and about my plant-based recipes very soon. In the meantime, God bless, stay safe, and try your hardest to be compassionate to other people and empathetic to all their illnesses they might have. Thanks.